The next character here on the list, I got to go to Chun-Li. Steven, where do you put Chun-Li, the strongest woman in the world?
Chun-Li was interesting because I feel like she's good, but I just didn't see a lot of her because obviously she's probably the most technical. I think she is the most technical character in the beta to learn.
Sure.
I had a few crackers come up and try to do some crazy stuff, and she could do some pretty wild stuff. She's got some crazy extensions for combos and things and setups and good footsies and all that stuff. I have her as number 7, but it's one of those things where it's like she could easily be number 4 where Ken is at for me. Like she could easily be anywhere else in this. Like she was a little bit of an outlier for me. I think she has a lot of potential. I think she can be really good. I just didn't see a ton of her, and I think that was kind of by nature because a lot of people are like, look, this character is going to take me forever to learn. I've got 3 days with the beta, so unless you had the crack beta, it was kind of like I'm going to go to somebody else to just get the experience, right? But she's a character that I do think she has a lot of good stuff, and it can be hard to fight her, man, especially when she starts doing all the stance stuff. It's like, okay, she's got some overheads, she's got some pretty interesting stuff. She can like low profile under drive impacts, I was saying. There's a lot there, but it's going to take a while to unpack her, so I do have her at 7th for now, just within the vacuum of the open beta and the betas that we saw before too.
John, thoughts on Chun-Li?
Yeah, this is a character I played in the second beta. I played Gal in the first and third, and I think she's absolutely terrible. Her anti-airs are really hard to make work consistently. You've got to have about 3 or 4 buttons on lockdown and ready to go. I think people who spend a ton of time with her can make this character look really good right now, but I think she's got some really big gaping holes in her overall strategy. So I had her at 8th, and she is hands down the worst usage in the game. She's got 12 people who played her in the top 200. And it's, again, that does speak to her technicality. She's very technical, extremely technical. And again, how are you going to get a character like that down unless you're a cracker and get in there? And, so I get that argument, but I also think that she's kind of balls in general. And this is a character that has a bunch of buffs badly needed for her for launch to get her to a really good spot because she's pretty terrible at this moment.
Wow, John and I see this game very differently. I have Chun-Li at number 1. The reason I have Chun-Li at number 1, I definitely ran into some crackers with Chun-Li, for sure. And she, as I see it, remember my 2 big things here are zoning and footsies. She's got some of the best footsies when it comes to both her movement speed and the range on her normals, and that's traditional Chun-Li 101. She definitely has that in Street Fighter 6. She can convert, and then she can go into setups after that, so she's got really good neutral. She doesn't have as good of zoning as Guile, but her fireball is deceptively good, not necessarily as a fireball that's going to pester you from full screen away like Luke or like Guile, but she puts it out there and then can follow it because it's very slow, and she can control the space that way. It augments her footsies, and it also serves as something to combat against people like Guile who are going to be chucking booms and plasma. She still has a fireball of her own. So the way she excels amazingly in the neutral, paired with the fact that she has a deceptively useful fireball, especially in the Street Fighter 6 meta, she's got everything, and I'm terrified of Chun-Li. Like when I get a hit on her, I go, phew, good, great, but it's always this terrifying thing. And this might be because I'm coming from Jamie specifically, where she has the fireball to, zone me out effectively and decently, and like I can't jump that one either. Similar to Giles, it's like it's got to be a read, and I'm risking my ass every time I try to make a read on a fireball versus they're just getting chip damage, or maybe it's colliding with me, whatever. Maybe it combos, but I found that Chun-Li I was never comfortable against, whether she was close, whether she was far, and I think she has amazing conversions, amazing footsies, and when you add it all up, her effectiveness with zoning, the way that she uses her fireball checks the box decently enough with zoning, and then her control of the space in neutral is amazing. Her footsies are amazing in this game, so I put her overall. I think she resonates with the meta the best.
Yeah, she has the worst fireball in the game right now. Her fireball is terrible and almost completely useless in a number of matchups. When I played against a Chun-Li player and she went to try to chuck plasma on me, I was like, oh, thank goodness. I'm like, this is great. And I won like all the time when that happened. She has the hands down the worst fireball in the game. She's unbelievably technical. The amount of damage she does for her really technical combos that are really easy to drop. And then she has to really be mindful of like anti-air, where with Guile, it's like, okay, I've got 2-3 options really, just crouching heavy punch and flash kick. Chun-Li's got to juggle about 6 or 7 different anti-airs in her head, and some of those literally involve her stance change, which if you have someone jump at you and you have to do a stance change and move and do all this other kind of stuff, like good luck being ready for that. And I mean, I don't care if you've got 100 hours with this character or been playing a ton and stuff, like that is unbelievably hard to do. And I know Punk, one of the best players around right now, he was playing Chun-Li and he didn't get anywhere near the top. I think he was like 96 overall right now in the top 200 rankings. And this is Punk. This is literally maybe the best player in Street Fighter 5. I had him there. And again, it's unless you had a ton of time with this character to gain a huge advantage with her, it's not working, because stuff like her instant air lightning leg kicks, those are very negative on block now, and that is one of her better tools in Street Fighter 5 to kind of get around stuff and to get in good positions. And like I said, she's got the worst fireball in the game. She's just got so many.
Why do you say it's the worst in the game? Like, what about it makes it the worst?
So you were talking about how she can place it on screen. Well, it dissipates fairly quickly. So just back up and don't let her put that fireball on screen. Then her startup on it, she's got to charge it. She's got to do all this other kind of stuff. Like you can blow through that with an EX move or OD move or a super or anything like that if she starts to telegraph it, which a lot of Chun-Li players do. That basically means that she is forced to play footsies and then deal with her 7 anti-air buttons and other stuff if someone just kind of randomly jumps on her. Plus, again, good amount of recovery on her fireball, so just start jumping at her if she starts doing that stuff, and you can blow her up pretty darn well.
Well, the jumping I did at Chun-Li's got me my ass handed to me a lot. So
yeah, I'll jump in as well and say that whenever I jumped against Chun-Li, I ate up kicks like every time. Like, and it was pretty consistent, and I was just
and
like, well,
they all seem to have some ridiculous setup afterwards, where there was going to be a fireball coming your way, and then they like I want to say FADC, they drive rush forward, and then it's like a high low, or they might flip over you and do the SF2 Chun-Li like hop over you, and yeah, it's definitely got to be crackers, because like you say, John, she is the most technical character here, I think, bar none, and in the top or the first 8 here for the beta. But people have begun figuring her out, and I think about kind of the opposite of like what we were saying about what I was saying about Kimberly and Jury, that they're easy-ish to do stuff is going unpunished right now, and it's seeming very effective. It is very effective right now, but that's going to wane over time. Chun-Li's the opposite. She's got hard to do stuff now, and she's not going to look very good early on, but as people figure her out, she has the tools that I think are going to really resonate. So after some time, and with the crackers, we've seen after some time, she is just a force to be reckoned with, as far as I can tell, in the neutral. So that's why I put her where I put her. Any other final thoughts on Chun-Li anyone wants to say? Cool. We'll move on to Luke. Hey guys, thanks a lot for checking that clip out. That was actually a small portion of a much bigger episode in which Catalyst, Dream King, and I all discuss our open beta tier lists for Street Fighter 6. If you enjoyed it and you want to see a similar clip to that one, we actually had a similar discussion about Kimberly, because our opinions on her differed quite a bit as well. And if you want to watch the entire episode where we give our entire lists through and through, you can check that out right here. It's in one of these directions, and the other one is Kimberly. Anyways, thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy what you see, if you're entertained and informed, and we will see you in our next video.